Hi, I'm Debbie Sardone, and today I'll be sharing with you how to charge premium pricing without losing the sale. Now be sure to stay to the very end if you'd like to receive my word-for-word script to help you flip "you're too expensive" into "where do I sign?" before the quote is even finished. So stay to the very end and I'll show you how to receive that script. Now before we dive in, you may be wondering, why should I listen to you? So let me share my story with you. This is my amazing husband, Steve Sardone, of over 47 years. We got married at age 18. We went right into the ministry for just a few short years. We were so broke in the ministry. We lived in a dumpy, rented trailer park in a really old rundown trailer home. And we had our first baby at age 22. We moved back to Texas. We got out of the ministry. My husband went back to the police department. And we lived in government-subsidized apartment complex. I was a stay-at-home mom with my new baby, and he was in the police department, which basically is code for a tiny paycheck. He started working 3 jobs, and I started cleaning houses. I know a lot of you started your business out of the trunk of your car like I did. You started out doing the work yourself, and I did clean houses for over 8 years, and my business took off. If you're good at what you do, people start referring you, and it wasn't long before I felt like I was drowning in opportunity. You know, we had moved back to the Dallas area. The economy was booming. People were referring me left and right, and I hated turning away money. I was literally drowning in opportunity. So what did I do? I did the most logical thing. I started hiring. Well, as you can imagine, that, of course, is when the chaos started. Because I never called in sick on myself. I never quit without notice on myself, but I found that when you hire, it's a whole new ball of wax, a whole new level of chaos and stress and drama. And it wasn't long before I realized I was literally trapped in my own success. I was so frustrated in business, I was so ready to quit. Well, 97% of the people who quit too soon are employed by the 3% that never gave up. Guess what? I didn't give up. Are you going to be in that 3% that don't give up? Or are you going to be in the 97% that work for us? Well, I didn't quit. I knew deep down in my heart that I was 3 feet from gold. I just didn't know how to tap into it. Every time I was about to quit, I would remind myself I'm sitting on a gold mine. This is the greatest opportunity. I just need to figure it out. So what did I do? Instead of quitting, I hired a business coach. Now, this was back in the late 90s, right? So there was no Zoom or online coaching and training, and there certainly was no such thing as a cleaning business coach like I do today. But I did hire a business consulting firm out of Chicago, Illinois, and 9 months after hiring a business coach, my business exploded. We hit the $1 million mark, something I had tried to achieve for many years and couldn't quite hit. I was hovering around 600,000, 650, 650,000. I couldn't get to the $1 million to save my soul. But 9 months after working with a business coach, we hit the $1 million. Now you got to realize that was back in 1998 when $1 million would be like $2 million, $2.5 million today. Business literally exploded. Now fast forward to today, we have over 65 employees. We have a run rate of about $4 million a year, and our business is 100% self-running. What does that mean? It means I've been retired for more than a decade, and I have staff, an executive leadership team, and a COO that runs the day-to-day operations, which gives me the time and the money freedom to do other things that I love and to pursue other ventures. I was able to go from ready to quit to great. I was able to go from being miserable to being amazing. And I love my business to this day. So my question to you as we dive into today's training is, why do you work so hard? Is your business amazing yet? Or are you ready to quit? I will tell you, for me, there's 4 things that keeps me going and keeps me working hard every single day. And it's those 4 freedoms that we all crave, that we all want when we started our business. Number 1 is time freedom. I wanted to build a business that gave me back my time so I could spend my time the way I want without having to ask a boss if I could have a week off or worrying if I would even have a job tomorrow. You really can't have time freedom without money freedom. None of us started this business to be broke. We started this business to have money freedom so that we could buy time freedom. And then people freedom. I wanted to be able to work with who I want and to not work with who I don't want. And I had to reach a level of success in my business where I truly had people freedom, or I could fire a bad client who was abusing our employees, or I had the freedom and the leverage to fire a bad employee who really didn't deserve working for me. In business success, you know you have succeeded when you truly have time freedom, money freedom, and people freedom. And then the fourth freedom that I always wanted, and I know so many of you want, is purpose freedom. I was able to find purpose freedom in business success by starting my nonprofit, Cleaning for a Reason. And many of you are a part of this nonprofit, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. If you're not, I hope you will look up cleaningforareason.org and learn more and decide to become a part of this amazing charity for cancer. To date, we've cleaned over 60,000 patients who are battling cancer. And we've done that through a network of over 1,400 cleaning companies just like you that joined and said, I'd love to give back a little bit in my community. So time freedom, money freedom, people freedom, and purpose freedom. That all allowed me to buy the speed cleaning business that I so adored and helped save my business in the early days from the founder, Jeff Campbell, over 15 years ago. And then just a couple of years ago, I was able to sell the speed cleaning business to my daughter. She was a scientist, bought the speed cleaning business from me, and now she runs the day-to-day operations and growth of speed cleaning. None of that would have been possible without building a successful business. Now, what do I do with my time all day? If I'm retired from my cleaning service, I get to spend my days teaching people how to build a multiple seven-figure dream business with a six-figure plus income that can ultimately become 100% self-running when you're ready. And so that's how I get to spend my time. Since becoming a business consultant, we were able to create the #1 residential cleaning business owners academy in the world. In fact, we've created more mop-free millionaires than anyone on the planet. We also have over 10 certified CBF coaches on our team helping residential cleaning business owners achieve their goals and grow their business. And so I'm not telling you these things to brag. I hope you know my heart. But if you don't know why you should listen to me, you might ignore some of the valuable lessons you will learn today. And I did write the book, Mop-Free Millionaire, which should be out later this year. And so in that book, I do talk about one thing, and that one thing is change is scary. Change is scary, but you can't move forward without change. When you lead change, you own the future, rather than when change has to lead you. So today's lesson, this is for you if you want to grow your residential cleaning business. This is for you if you want to grow faster without failing. You want to hire more people and keep them busy. But I know you're thinking, but what if we can't staff the demand? What if we can't find good workers? And what if we can't keep the good ones we do hire? Trust me, I have been in your shoes. Today, I want you to position yourself for growth, not failure. I want you to find solutions, stop making excuses. And if you would like our help, simply visit us at explorecbf.com and book a strategy call. It's completely free with one of my team to learn how we can help you achieve everything possible in your residential cleaning business. Now, before we get started, I want to encourage you to just turn off your notifications. Do not become distracted. Keep an open mind so that you can up-level your business. So let's dive in. So to achieve premium pricing, you need 3 things: the right mindset, the right data, and the right structures. And so we'll be covering those 3 things throughout my talk today. The right mindset, you know and believe you're worth more, and you know you have to get it. That's the right mindset. You know and believe you're worth more, and you know you have to get it. I call that your panic number. What's that number you have to get? Or there's no point in being in business, right? What is your panic number? The number you have to get. And then number 2, the right data. If others can charge 30% more, why are you charging less? The right data. And then number 3, and we'll go deeper on these, the right structure, the Premium Price Playbook. Do you have the right structures in place? Regular price shopping to remain current on market price. Price increase cadences to keep your legacy clients up to date with their prices. And script that sell on value, not price. So let's get started. Number 1, the right mindset. Now, this is a favorite story I recently heard the story about Fortune magazine and how they got 10x their worth during the Great Depression. Did you know that more millionaires were created during the Great Depression than in any other time in U.S. history? When Fortune magazine first published, it was in October 1929 of the Wall Street crash, right, of 29. And during this period of time, they called it the Great Depression. And Henry Luce, who was the publisher, was about to launch this new publication that he had named Fortune magazine. In a memo to the board of directors in November of 1929, Luce wrote, because he knew that we were in this Wall Street crash, he wrote, "We will not be overly optimistic. We will recognize that this business slump may last as long as an entire year." Well, it ended up lasting 12 years. Fortune magazine made its official debut in February of 1930 with low expectations for how that year, that slump year, would go. The magazine was supposed to sell for 10 cents, which was the going rate for magazines back in the day. The graphics designer mocked up the cover and just put a $1 placeholder on the cover since they hadn't settled on the exact price. Due to a printing error, it printed with the $1 price on the cover. The perceived value was so high, they sold 3 times more than they expected to sell, and they had to launch additional print runs. Within 7 years, Fortune magazine turned $500,000 in profit right in the middle of the Great Depression. That 1-year slump? No, it was a 12-year Great Depression. So don't blame price sensitivity on the recession, on the economy, on all the cheap competition out there. Stop blaming price sensitivity of the market on other factors. Number one, you have not because you ask not. We don't get the prices we want because we don't ask for them. Now, their mistake meant they asked 10 times more than they were planning to ask. And guess what? It raised the value proposition of the magazine so high, they flew off the shelves. So let's move to number 2, the right data. Use the 15-minute competitive audit. It's just a simple 15-minute audit that can actually reveal where you can confidently raise prices 20, 30, even 40% above the local average without guessing or underselling your services. And so step 1 in the right data is price shop. You need to price shop your competition. Price shop the top priced franchises in your area. Now skip the bargain players, but note the middle tier rates for context only. Only shop the highest priced franchises. These tend to be the more professional services that will be charging more than anybody else in the area. And then set your rates at or above the highest benchmark, never the middle. There's no advantage in the middle, no advantage whatsoever. You either need to be the cheapest or you need to be the highest, and none of us want to be the cheapest. Think JCPenney, Kmart, they're in the middle. Think Walmart versus Nordstrom's, you got the cheapest and the highest. We don't ever want to be in the middle, and I sure don't want to be the cheapest. An easy price shop structure is to ask, what's the cost of a 4-hour prepaid gift card when you shop around? It's a super simple, easy ask. So just base it on 4 labor hours. Ask what team size they usually send, just to ensure you're talking maid hours or labor hours, and to confirm that the hourly rate really is what you suspect it is when you ask, what is the price for 4-hour gift card? And if you're not sure, or they're not very clear in how they answer the questions, just come right out and ask and confirm your estimation. Just say, so is that $50 per labor hour? Is that $60 per labor hour? Most people will give in and tell you their per labor hour price. I know my company has nothing to hide if you called us and asked. So here's a price shop tip. High efficiency is your competitive advantage. Low efficiency contributes to lower per billable hour rate benchmarks. You can actually get 8 to 10% higher if your competitors use the slower but not better team cleaning model on recurring jobs. Unless you do too, and then you're probably not going to be as efficient either. But if you use the solo model and you're using the speed cleaning method and some of the other things that we teach in CBF, you should be way more efficient than your less than efficient competitors. Generally speaking, you can charge 8-10% higher because of your efficiency factor. So that's just a little tip I wanted to throw in as a freebie. So the right data, number 2, the right data is the first place to start in achieving premium pricing. So price shop and raise prices. All right, so number 3, the right structure. This is so important. If you want to charge premium pricing, you have to have the right structures in place. And here's what I'd say all the time. Success is in the structures. When your business is small, you can be successful while you're winging it. But if you really want to grow big and reach your potential, success is found in the systems, in the structures. So number 3, the tip number 3, or step number 3 is the right structures. In my Premium Price Playbook, I share my Legacy Lift framework for raising prices and my Flip and Keep framework for selling at top dollar. So first, you need to follow a step-by-step cadence that you've created in your business, something everyone can follow. You can call it your Premium Price Playbook or your SOPs or whatever. But in this step-by-step cadence that you create, you have to incorporate timing, messaging, and follow-up for raising rates on long-time clients while strengthening their loyalty. And so here's some easy steps for raising prices on those legacy clients or long-time clients. Just 3 easy steps. And this is all part of making sure you have the right structures in place so that you never fall behind in pricing. So 3 easy steps. Step number 1 is timing. When it comes to raising legacy prices, what should the timing be? Some people wonder, well, how long should I wait before I raise prices? It is my belief, and what I teach is every 12 to 18 months, so that you never have to exceed a 3 to 5 or even 6 or 7% rate increase to keep up with inflation. So every 12 to 18 months should be the cadence for raising prices. That way you can keep the percentage relatively low every time you do raise prices. And also in terms of timing, I'm a big fan of raising prices on the client's anniversary date from when they started versus picking a time of year, let's say January, and raising prices on everyone. I think that's truly a mistake. Now, there may be an exception where there may be a temporary crisis like many of us went through during COVID, or some of you, if you've been in business long enough, like I have, we saw fuel prices go sky high, so many businesses might implement a temporary, on-the-spot, across-the-board fuel surcharge. But outside of that, the timing literally should be every 12 to 18 months so that you can raise your prices incrementally instead of waiting years when you have to raise them significantly. And then number 2 in the steps to raising prices successfully on legacy clients is messaging. Don't over-explain or make excuses. That puts you on the defense. Instead, reaffirm value. This keeps you on the offense. Keep your message to the clients who you're raising prices on short, sweet, and to the point. And benefit to them based. Benefit to them based. Verbiage in your letter, like, because every business has to raise prices and to ensure top-tier pay for top-tier people and to keep you safe with our $1 million insurance policy, blah, blah, blah. In other words, keep the messaging about them and about the benefits and about the value and stay off the defense, over-explaining. And then number 3, follow up. When you raise prices, follow up. Monitor the client's skip rate or cancel rate for at least 30 days. About 30 days is enough since receiving your rate increase. You might just need to pick up the phone if somebody cancels service suddenly after a rate increase and plan ahead, but have a little negotiation option available. Something like, well, how about if we give you a 5% discount with the new rate, but a 5% discount if you prepay for an entire year using a check? Well, most of us are paying 3.5% to 4% in merchant fees, so you really don't lose much, and it becomes a win-win for both of you. So be sure to follow up after raising prices. Now, caution, the longer you wait to raise prices on legacy clients, the higher the percentage will have to be to get them to market rate. Raise them often, incrementally, rather than every few years, significantly. The psychology of a $5 more per visit this year is hardly worth switching services versus you waiting 3 years and raise them up $15. Do you see the psychology? You could lose them over that technique. Now, tip number 1, most people will tolerate a 3 to 5% rate increase without even noticing. Now, if it's been a few years, you might be able to get away with a 6 to 8% rate increase, maybe even up to 10%, because they know you haven't raised their prices in years, but it gets risky. You risk losing them with a 10, 15% or more rate increase. You have to decide, are they worth a spot on your schedule if they aren't profitable? And if they aren't, take the risk, raise their price, and do enough marketing to replace them with a higher paying client if they drop you over $15. Now, tip number 2 with raising prices. Raise prices gradually on legacy clients, never all at once. So you might decide, oh my word, I have 50 of my clients underpaying. Just raise maybe 5 to 10 at a time so that you can pace if they do cancel with new clients that you can take on in their place at a higher price point. So never raise prices all at once because you risk too much disruption to your business and it may be difficult to replace them at the same pace. And then lastly, raise prices immediately on new inbound clients. So if you do your market shop, you do some price shopping and you discover that you're $10 an hour below market rate, when you raise prices, it starts tomorrow with all new quotes. Don't worry that what you quoted last week or last month. If somebody didn't book you last week or last month and they call today, it's the new price. So make sure you raise prices immediately with all new inbound clients. You don't have to wait till your legacy clients are all raised up. There's absolutely no reason to wait. Now let me go over the attrition break-even calculation. This is a simple metric that shows exactly how many clients you can afford to lose and still come out ahead after a price increase. How many clients can you lose and still break even? Well, here's the simple math. If you really want to make it simple, just go to ChatGPT and type in your specific prompt. Something like, in a ChatGPT prompt, a question that would say, if I raise 100 clients who pay an average of $292 per month, up by 4%, how many clients can I lose and be at break even? That's the easy way. ChatGPT will tell you something like 3.85 clients, so just under 4%. But the guesstimate math, the simple math in your head, is you can lose just under the percentage of clients of the same rate increase. So imagine if you're going to raise prices 4%, you can lose about 4 clients. If you raise clients by 6%, you can lose about 6 clients, and you're still at break even. And that doesn't even count the clients that were zero profit. Those don't even count. So if you lost 6 zero profit clients because they won't pay your new rate, really didn't lose anything, did you? Literally costing you money by holding a spot on your schedule that could have been sold to somebody who would have paid nearly double. And another caution, this is just something to keep in mind. Change begats change. Any change can trigger an inevitable action. So if they're already somewhat dissatisfied, unhappy with your service, if they were already thinking about cutting their budget, then the introduction of a price increase may push them over the edge and you'll go ahead and get a cancellation. You really don't have a lot of control over that, but do be aware if you have some dissatisfied clients, now is not the time to send them a rate increase. Get your service under control and then hit them with a rate increase. Now, the smaller the change, the likely it will be unnoticed. So a small rate increase is far less likely to get noticed or acted upon by the client. Now, here's a quick bonus because we're talking about structure and systems and the successes in the structure. I have a sales university program where we teach sales training to cleaning business owners and their sales team. In my sales university program, I teach my flip and keep framework and the 3 phases of a successful sales call. I'm going to tell you those 3 phases, but I'm going to go deep on one script in one phase. But the 3 phases of a successful sales call is intro, triage, and close. I wanted to share that with you just kind of as a bonus, just as you introduce more structure and more of the right structures into your business, because again, success is in the structure. There's even structure inside of a sales call to win at higher price points. So winning sales at top dollar doesn't happen by accident. And I believe there's 3 phases to every sales call. You may not be paying attention to these 3 phases, or you may not be following these 3 phases, but I encourage you to look at your sales calls and break them into these 3 phases: intro, triage, and close. And I'll just go over those with you quickly, even though that's not what the training is about today. In the first phase, which we're not going to go deep in today, intro, is the warm greeting, pre-qualifying the lead, and the needs assessment and critical data collection. So in those 3 parts, that's the first part. And then in phase 2, the triage phase, this is where I want to share with you one easy script that you can model. In fact, I'm going to give you my script that you can download and edit it for your own business. But one simple script inside this structure, it's in the triage phase of the sales call. And we call this the value proposition script. This is the money shot. You'll never consistently win top dollar without this step. Now, during the triage phase of a sales call, the money shot, you must have a planned and practiced value positioning script, also known as the About Us script, right? Nothing complicated, the About Us script. I don't recommend that you wing it or let your sales staff wing it. Follow a script that you've written and rehearsed in conversation tone. This is really important. In the triage, you pivot the conversation from the needs assessment and the data collection part of triage. And that's the how many square feet do you have? How many bathrooms do you have? Is your home lived in or will it be empty? Is this a one-time cleaning or possibly ongoing, right? So that's during the triage, you're going to pivot away from needs assessment and data collection. And this is where you pivot to value positioning. This always comes before the price drop. Always. I see so many people make the mistake of dropping their high prices before the value positioning. This is a huge mistake, which is why I'm including my script for you to edit and make your own. This is the pivot point where you pivot to About Us, your story, your value positioning. Read the script in conversation speak, never like an order taker, never like a robot. Practice the About Us script out loud in conversation speak with each other. With experience, you can conversation speak right from a bullet list, so you won't even need the script eventually. In fact, many owners are very good at this, and that's why they struggle to onboard a sales team that converts like they do, because you have the script memorized in your head, and your sales team doesn't even realize that it's part of phase 2 in the triage, is the value positioning script. So I'm going to share with you an example of our value positioning script at my own company, Buckets Bows Maid Service. And again, we do $4 million in annual revenue, and we are at the highest price point in our market. And so listen to our value positioning script.
Well, just to give you a quick snapshot, Buckets and Bows has been around since 1984, so we've got over 4 decades of experience serving homes just like yours. We're actually one of the largest maid services in the entire country. And with 1,000 plus Google reviews and a 4.9 star rating, you can imagine how committed we are to delivering top-notch service every time. Our owners, Steve and Debbie Sardone, are a husband and wife team. Steve's a retired police officer, so as you can imagine, safety and security are at the very core of our values. We never cut corners when it comes to who we hire or how we operate in people's homes. And Debbie, she's not just a businesswoman. She's the founder of the nonprofit Cleaning for a Reason, where we provide free house cleaning for cancer patients. So giving back and serving others is truly woven into the fabric of our company. We've been voted #1 maid service in Denton County for over 15 years in a row. And what sets us apart? Our happy, long-term career cleaners. Not temps, not gig workers. These are full-time employees who love what they do and stay with us long-term, which means you'll get consistent, high-quality care, not a revolving door of strangers. Because our cleaners are paid well, treated well, and stay for years, that's why your home is always in good hands. We back it all up with our 100% satisfaction guarantee, because we believe you should always love the results. And for your peace of mind, we're fully bonded and insured with a $1 million in coverage. All of our cleaning techs are screened, background checked, trained employees, not subcontractors. Cheaper services often skip these basics. That's not a corner we'll ever cut. In fact, our training program is so effective, other cleaning companies from across the country come to our headquarters to learn how we do it. We're literally training other owners. So you're not just hiring a cleaner, you're partnering with a nationally respected, locally loved company that truly cares about your home, your safety, and your satisfaction.
Did you hear the value positioning in that script? Now, of course, I had that professionally voiceover, but think of you delivering that same script or somebody on your sales team. Did you hear the value positioning, right? 4 decades of experience versus the low-cost gig workers and the newbies in our industry, right? Social proofing, 4.9 star rating. That's quality, right? Value positioning. So experience, value positioning. Quality, value positioning. Safe. Did you hear it? Safe. The owner is a retired police officer. Implied safety, trust, no risk when choosing us. Relatable. Know, like, and trust. She's a businesswoman in our community, just like you. Some people will be thinking, right? Relatable. Lovable. Charity. You'll feel good because your support helps families battling cancer. It makes your positioning lovable. Do you see how the value is being raised during this About Us phase of triage? Voted number 1 for 15 years in a row. That's our value positioning without actually coming right out and saying we're better, right? That's our value positioning statement. Our we're better than them statement without saying it. Because differentiation. Number 7, because differentiation. Our people who are worth $, happy and long term. We cost more because differentiation, right there. Point number 7. We cost more because differentiation. Number 8, peace of mind. Did you hear it? Guaranteed, insured, bonded, screened, trained, trusted staff. Peace of mind without saying it. And then without saying it, value versus price. Cheaper services skip these basics. They cut these corners. Do you hear the value positioning? Without value positioning, you can never charge top dollar. That script took 2 minutes to read, and that's just somebody reading it at a decent pace. If you are ending sales calls in 5 and 6 minute flat, you are leaving money on the table because too often people are hanging up saying, okay, thanks, I'll check around. Or if your sales team is ending sales calls in 5 and 6 minutes, that script alone took 2 minutes. Speed is not a virtue in the sales process. It's a crime. I better not hear my salesperson end a sales call in 5 minutes. It should take a good 15 to 20 minutes to sell the value, to needs assess, to data collect, to intro warmly. That should take 15, 20 minutes. If you want to charge more, you have to invest time into the relationship. People buy from people they know, like, and trust. Unless, of course, you're the cheapest. And I think we've already established nobody wants to be the cheapest. Here's my conclusion on premium pricing and how to get premium pricing. Premium pricing is about value. If you don't sell your value, you have to drop your prices. If you're buying a ladder for a loved one to climb up and fix the roof, are you going to go with the half-price ladder that's not as safe or the safest ladder you can buy? If you're the safe ladder, you need to sell that. Look, 30 to 40% of the market will buy on price. I get that. But that means 60 to 70% will buy on value, but you have to show them the value. Sell to the people you are the most valuable to. You cannot sell to people that you are not valuable to unless you're the cheapest. So let's recap so that you can achieve premium pricing success. Number 1, you have to start with the right mindset. You know and believe you're worth more, and you know you have to get it. Number 2, the right data. If others can charge 30% more, so can you. You have not because you asked. Number 3, the right structure. Do you have a premium price playbook? Are you doing price shopping regularly? I recommend twice a year to remain current and on top of market value. And then price increase cadences so that your legacy client pricing aren't outdated. I recommend 12 to 18 months versus several years out. And then a sales structure with scripts that sell on value, not price. Premium pricing shouldn't be a gamble. It's your new ground rule. Now go and quote top tier rates with unshakable confidence. Lift your legacy clients to fair profit pricing without losing a single one, and claim the margin your quality deserves. Raise it, keep it, own it, because greatness never goes on sale. If you're ready to enroll your team or yourself in Sales University, where we hardwire the script, the mindset, and the metrics that turn premium pricing into everyday wins, visit cbfsalesuniversity.com to learn more. Thank you for staying to the very end. You can download your free gift, the Value-Driven Advantage Script Prompt, by visiting zenmadespecial.com. Thanks for listening.